Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've made a reselling video, but this video is very much reselling related. Things have been a little bit slow as far as YouTube goes because my kids are out of school for the summer. They'll be starting school here soon. So right now I am very much part-time and taking care of my kids at the same time. So this video is actually going to touch on how you are able to be, or pretty much like the life of a mom or a parent with children, and kind of taking that part-time role. And I'm fortunate that reselling isn't something that I have to do to pay bills. I'm sure that if that were the case, then things would be a little bit different. I'd be making a different type of video. But again, like I said, I do this very part-time. I don't put in any more than 15 hours a week. And I know that sounds really crazy to some people and probably crazy to newer resellers who constantly hear things like hustle, hustle, hustle and grind, 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 which can we stop saying the word hustle and grind? I know I'm probably going to get some lip for it, but I'm just so tired of hearing those words. They're just like, ugh, can we not? But anyway. So for me, I don't hustle, hustle, hustle. I don't grind, grind, grind. I'm not making millions of dollars every year. I'm not anywhere close to six figures. I don't really care to be in that category. I grew up with almost nothing. I don't even know where my parents got money, to be honest with you. It's just, money is not that important to me. It is something that we need, unfortunately, to survive. You need to be able to pay to have a roof over your head and food in your bellies and things like that. And if you have children, you need to be financially stable. But that's like a completely different thing. I'm just getting so off track. I'm so sorry. So let's reel it back into what I'm actually here to talk about. And the topic is being a reseller with kids. Now, whenever I look on Instagram or Facebook or wherever the case may be, a lot of the resellers that I follow, and I do this unintentionally, but I follow younger resellers who have zero children or any kind of responsibility like that. Some of them might have pets, and maybe that's why I follow them, because I see their dogs and I'm like, I like that. I'm gonna follow you because of your dog. But seriously, I see them taking all these vacations. They're able to source all day long. They're able to travel to different parts of the country to source. They go to the posh fests. Schmooze fests is what I actually call them. Don't at me, people. So that's I'm able to see different types of resellers, and then I see other resellers who I follow as well, who are very much seasoned. They're veteran resellers, if you will. They've been doing this for a very long time, and they list and sell almost everything, and a lot of them do this because it's what they've been doing for such a long time, and it brings in great income for them. They're able to pay off bills. They're able to, I don't know, help fund their older children and things like that. So it's cool watching the different people. And then I always try to find people who are like me, moms or even dads, who are the primary parent, if you will, while their significant other is working or has weird hours and stuff like that. They're at home taking care of the kids. They're holding down the fort, but yet they're using reselling as a little bit of a supplemental income. They're able to use that money to take the kids out for a movie or Sonic or something like that. And I use those examples because that's what I use the reselling money for. The reselling money is mostly to pretty much keep my kids comfortable, so we can just depend on my husband's paycheck to pay the bills, to pay the mortgage, for the big things, and then also put that money aside in savings whenever we're able to. But the reselling thing, for me, it's more towards, like, if I want something for myself, I don't have to dip into our main account. I can easily use my money. And I say my money loosely, but it's all the same. It goes into the same household fund. It's just a little bit extra. So I put in maybe 15 hours a week. And in doing so, I have to take 3 kids with me, especially during the summer. I have to take 3 kids with me sourcing because my husband has really weird hours. So I can't always rely on him to be home at a decent time after dinner and stuff like that. And even now, my daughter is doing cheer, so a lot of evenings are spent taking her to cheer so she could do her practice and stuff. And sometimes during the days, we have appointments, we have other obligations, we have things to do. I don't always just get to list, source. I don't get to do that. But it is very possible to do it. So whenever I get the chance to do it, I like to take pictures in batches. I like to take as many photos as I possibly can of easy items when my husband's not able to help, or when we have other things going on. Like if we have a doctor's appointment in the middle of the day, I know I don't have a chance to really go sourcing beforehand or afterward, because most of the time it's the kids are waking up, they're eating breakfast, we have a doctor's appointment, and then we have to go grocery shopping or something like that. Then I have to come home, make dinner. My husband's home for dinner. We want to relax on the couch together. We want to spend a little bit of time together, this, that, and the other. We want to spend family time together. So it's kind of like, where does reselling fall into that? So for me, it's a lot easier to find easy things like shoes and skirts and tops, things that don't need to necessarily be ironed or steamed, or, anything to take wrinkles out. So a lot of the time, I kind of have to put a few things back, or I have to, if I do buy them, I do put them in a pile. So if we're not doing anything on the weekend, I am able to take those things out, steam them to get the wrinkles out, and then list them, because it's easier for me to do all of that in batches. So another thing is, when I do list the items, I kind of just draft everything up. I'll measure, I'll take photos, and I'll measure as I'm taking photos, and I'll write it all down in a little printable sheet that I got off of Etsy. Excuse me. And I'll write it all down, down all the measurements. And then if I'm at my daughter's cheer practice, or if we're at a doctor's office waiting, I'll go into my photo editing program, and I will edit all of my photos that I possibly can. And from there, I'll make the drafts in whatever app I'm trying to use, whether it be eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari. And then, well, Mercari, you can't do drafts, sorry, but eBay and Poshmark, you can. And I'll just upload those photos and then type in the necessary information that I need, and that's it. Upload it. And I only upload maybe 5 items a day. I try to aim for 5 to 8, but 8 is a little bit unrealistic because of all the things that I have to do to get everything prepared. So 5 is a little bit more of an attainable goal for me. So what really comes in handy is Poshmark. And I know a lot of people say that Poshmark is a little bit needy because you constantly have to share. But I feel like that's very beneficial to me, because I get my stuff out there. I get things seen more. And with eBay and Mercari, you kind of just let things sit, and you kind of hope that the right person comes along, which inevitably and eventually somebody does purchase your item if that's what they're looking for. But I like that Poshmark requires a little bit more work, because it kind of takes pressure off of me, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. It doesn't feel like I have to constantly list. It's more like, here, let's get this item out there. And then not only that, but I can also cross list from Poshmark to eBay to Mercari. Right now, Poshmark is my main love, I guess you could say. It's the one that I use the most. I list there, and now that they have the home market, it's a lot easier for me to list things like mugs and books or whatever the case may be. So I list a lot of items onto there, and then when I have some free time, I am able to cross list onto Mercari and eBay. So first it'll go to eBay, and then it'll go to Mercari if it's been sitting for a little while. Mercari is kind of like my last stop. Poshmark's first, eBay second, and Mercari is my last stop. Mercari used to be really good for me, but I'm not making the kind of sales on Mercari that I used to, so kind of use that as the as the backseat one. It's that little spoon in the drawer that you don't really want to use, but everything else is dirty or it's in the dishwasher, and you're like, fine, I'll use this spoon. It's the spoon you hate. So yeah, that's it. You love to hate it. So that's what that is. I don't put too much, effort into grinding and hustling. I don't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't go to bed at midnight because I'm busy taking photos. My mindset is a little bit different when it comes to that. I still produce 1 to 2 packages a day, just depending. Sometimes I'll get 4. I've gotten up to 8 packages in one day randomly out of nowhere, but I would say my average is about 2 to 3. And 2 to 3 packages a day for part-time hours, for less than 15 hours, for maybe listing 5 items a day. It's kind of like, that's actually pretty good if you think about it. I do see lots of people who send out like 30, 40 packages every single day. And in the beginning, I used to be a little bit like, well, why can't I be like that? But then I look at their closets, or mostly their closets on Poshmark, and I see that they have thousands of items. And that's why they're able to send out so many. If you think about it, if you're just starting off reselling and you see somebody on your newsfeed with 40 items to send out every single day, even 20, you have to look at how much stuff they actually have in their closet. If they have over 1,000 items, chances are that, yeah, they're going to be able to send out that much every day. If you have less than 250 listings, then chances are you'll maybe be able to send out 1 to 2 items a day. That actually fits into, the categories. And of course, it's stuff that people want or people search for and things like that. I've been doing this part-time for almost 3 years. And I've learned so much, I've grown so much, and starting in September, I will be jumping in full time because all 3 of my kids will be in school. So my days will be a little bit better for me. I will actually be able to be kids free when I go sourcing. So my focus will be 100% on what I am looking for. Then I'll be able to go home and take care of all the necessary things that I need. I won't need to feed any other person food. I won't need to stop and play with my kids. I won't need to do all that. By the time they come home from school, I'll have all the things that I want accomplished, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I have family time. I am always going to give myself regular 8 to 5 hours because that is exactly what I want to do. As a mother, as somebody who doesn't necessarily need this as a full-time income, I still want to have a family first mentality. The grind, hustle, all of that, I don't like it. I don't feel like you need to burn yourself out to attain your goals. If money is your goal, then I don't know. I feel like that's the wrong type of thing to be focusing on. I still want to be able to make enough money to help pay for my daughter's cheer things. So, the extra money that comes in, it will come in. If I'm making the money that I make now part-time, which it's not in the like $2,000 range or anything like that, it is actually pretty comfortable, I guess, for somebody part-time. It's not going to pay off, the mortgage or anything like that. But hey, a little bit goes a long way. So I hope that this video kind of helps somebody who is doing this part-time and who sees like the huge stacks and is like, gosh, I wish I could get up to that level. Understand that if you can only put in a few hours a week, you're not going to get 50 packages out unless you're putting in like some crazy stuff that lots of people want, or if you're like charging a whole bunch of money for things, or if you're doing like volume type of things, like just small little things for a few bucks here and there. You're not going to get $50 sales a day if you have 200 listings. Let's be real here. Like, that doesn't really happen unless 50 people are looking for what you have. Don't set yourself to those full-time seller standards. Always make sure that if you are following people on Facebook or Instagram who are resellers, you know what kind of reseller they are. You know that they are either part-time or if they're full-time. If they're able to source all day long and that's their luxury, understand that that doesn't involve you. That has nothing to do with you, and that has nothing to do with their goals. If you see somebody who is a part-time reseller and they send out 5 packages a day, 6 packages a day, 8 packages a day, then that is still a very attainable goal. And they're probably still making a pretty decent profit at the end of the day. So I really hope that, again, this video kind of helped put into perspective that you can be a full-time reseller and actually make like a little bit of change. I know some people are like, well, if it's not paying all of your bills, is it even worth it? Kind of is. Honestly, a little bit of income, no matter how big, how small, does help out, especially when you have kids, especially when you have kids who want to do things like sports, after school activities. If I'm working to pay for those things, then that means we have more money in our main income set aside for things like vacations or stuff like that. But this time next year, I'll be full time, so things will be a little bit different. I'll have a little bit of a different video to talk to you guys about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it kind of made sense, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.